Your first podcast?
Very first.
I'm so honored. I'm really honored.
No, only for you.
I'm really grateful.
You have no idea how far I flew to see you.
I know.
Only for you.
Thank you so much.
But I love you so much, so...
I love you more, Barb. You're the best.
You're the best.
Thank you so much. You flew from New York?
New York to Zurich, Zurich to Milano. And then when we're done, I'm flying from Milano to Naples.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very nice.
I know you don't usually fly from New York because you're based in Gstaad.
Yeah.
Which we need to acknowledge. The viewers need to know that Barbara Sturm is the Gstaad girl.
Oh yeah, but before I knew you, I thought you lived in Gstaad, and your team reached out to me, and I thought, oh yeah, they reached out to me because they know I live in Gstaad.
I had no idea.
And then when we met, it's like, no, I come to Gstaad once in a while, but
So
nothing
funny.
to do.
I know, it's so funny.
It's so funny.
We met for the first time at our dear mutual friend's house, one of my best friends, Naxon's house.
Yeah, we love him.
Love him.
Yeah.
So he's the real Gstaad guy.
He's the real Gstaad guy.
He's cooler. And you're the real Gstaad girl. I love when I build new friendships, and it happens pretty rarely these days. And you're one of those friendships I'm very grateful for.
Same, by the way, same. We're not looking for friends. I'm not actively looking
Me
for
neither.
friends, but
Yeah.
the ones you find, nevertheless, they're so dear to ourselves. I'm actually excited about the opportunity to meet more of those interesting people.
Me too. And I'm also equally excited by not meeting anyone.
Same. I live in Gstaad.
Exactly. That's fantastic.
Around the world with your host, the Gstaad Guy. We welcome you back to the Gstaad Guy podcast, sharing stories of excellence with those in the know for those who just know.
I want to acknowledge your nicknames. Barbara, Barb, BB. What
Who
does Charlie
says
call
Barb?
you?
That's just Max
That's
Cook.
me.
Oh, it's you. Barb. I rarely hear Barb.
Barbie?
Barbie?
No?
Come on.
No? Okay.
Come on.
BB? What does
BB.
Charlie call you? She calls you BB?
She calls me Bibi, Mama. And if I don't listen, Barbara.
Okay, fine.
Then I listen. And Pepper does the same thing. If I don't listen, Barbara.
Fine. When it's casual, BB.
Bibi.
Okay. For those who don't know, Charlie and Pepper are your two beautiful
Yes.
daughters. So thank you so much for being here on the Gstaad Guy podcast. I'm sure everyone knows you. Your reputation precedes you. Dr. Barbara Sturm of Dr. Barbara Sturm. You are the founder of this incredible skincare brand, and you are a doctor of skin, of beauty, of longevity, of health. You're also an incredible mother, an incredible friend, and a sponsor of Gstaad and the Gstaad way of living. This is healthy lifestyle, this disconnected lifestyle, and this
I
appreciation.
try to keep it a secret, but you talk about it.
We have to talk about it. This is the Gstaad Guy podcast. We can't not acknowledge that you live in Gstaad. We have to.
No, of course.
We
Of
have to.
course.
We have to. So it's really amazing to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm very honored, obviously. I love talking everything, longevity, good skin, health. And also I love doing fun things.
I'm so happy to hear. That's great. How has your day gone so far? Have you used a lot of your products today? I know you traveled a lot.
Especially when I travel, I slap them on constantly. And it's nice. It gives me always like the hydration and dewiness, because the planes, there's like so much hydration and out of your skin and yourself. So hydration is the key from the inside and out. I drink water. I don't eat on the plane. I really always reapply my products. Charlie made those eye patches I'm obsessed with.
Yeah.
I never wanted eye patches, but Charlie convinced me. So I made these eye patches and I changed them like 3 times throughout the long time flight.
Wow.
And that really saves you, because you feel, especially with the eye patches, when you take them off, you feel how much, hydration gets out of your skin.
Yeah. And those are just under the eyes.
Yeah, you just put them under your eyes.
That's cool. So you have how many
will show
products
you.
today under
Oh my goodness.
your umbrella?
Lots of products. I don't even know how many. Yeah, I'm Willy Wonka. I create products for everyone with skin. People come to me and said, oh, I have the problem with XYZ. I'm like, oh, I make you a product. That was my approach when I started this skincare,
Yeah.
because I wanted to please my patients and give them something that was effective, that would help them, that would transform their skin, and they were happy in their skin, look into the mirror, feeling confident. That was my main interest in creating products. That's why my line is also quite big, because I make products for everyone with skin, no matter what skin concern, what color, what age, what skin condition, whatever it is, I make products for them.
Beautiful. So you started this whole journey as a skin doctor.
I'm an orthopedic doctor.
Okay.
I'm an orthopedic doctor and scientist.
Wow.
I started with a group of scientists from Harvard, Pittsburgh, and a group of orthopedic surgeons from Düsseldorf. And I helped pioneering a treatment where you take the patient's blood, process it in a certain way to create anti-inflammatory proteins and growth factors, and then you re-inject those into the joints to bring down inflammation and stop the ongoing aging process. So aging and inflammation goes very close together. And this was fascinating to me. Also fascinating to me was that you can be a pioneer, that you can come up with your own treatment. If you don't really believe there's any existing valuable treatment, you make your own. And that really struck with me, and that really stuck with me, no? That's how you say it.
Yeah.
That really stuck with me, and that made me do this vampire facial, create this vampire facial in 2002, because there was nothing on the market in the aesthetic field. When I started injecting Botox and fillers as an orthopedic doctor, I was always obsessed with aesthetics. And so I started doing that, but I brought the anti-inflammatory, anti-aging proteins into this procedure and created that treatment to enhance really the skin quality and do something effectively on a molecular level, on the cellular level.
Beautiful. And that was in California.
That was in Germany.
In Germany.
That is all made in Germany. But I was traveling to California so much, and I was working with lots of scientists in America. But in America, it's like, there's a lot of science made in America, and then they can't really bring it to the patient until it's FDA approved. So in Germany, as a doctor, you're allowed to do pretty much everything and bring it to the patient. So the knowledge came actually from the US, but then we brought it to the patients. And yeah, I translated just that knowledge into aesthetics.
Beautiful. And when did you transition from the traditional doctor approach to starting your own business and brand?
I still see myself as a traditional doctor. I don't see so many patients anymore, but I still like to give advice to patients, and that's why I do a lot of education everywhere. But when I started doing aesthetics and the blood facial, I had more and more patients coming to me, not for orthopedics, but for aesthetics. And I'm also very good in doing Botox and fillers. I just love natural results, and I developed my very own technique to just lift the face and not making you weird lips or weird cheeks or whatever was hip at the time. When I did it, it was 20 years ago. And at that time, it was a status symbol to really see what you have done to your face. And I said, no, I only do natural results. And I really like people to look their best themselves and not different. So more and more people came to me for aesthetics. And when I started my own clinic, I had just a few orthopedic patients, and it really translated into like this aesthetic clinic.
And your first product that you commercialized and then
The
created
first product
Sturm
ever
brand. What
was
that?
actually the blood cream. I don't know. Did I make you the blood cream before?
No.
So the first product was when I realized that I needed something for my skin and there was nothing on the market.
Okay.
So my skin was dry. I had blackheads. I had to go and see my facialist every 3 weeks. It was pretty annoying because my facialist also would hand me over products and products. I spent so much money on products. Nothing would work, and I would just throw it away. And I didn't like it. And I said to my colleague, I said, let's do it ourselves. Let's do a gene cream. So, I was like 29 or something, and I created a cream with the proteins from my blood. And my grandmother was a pharmacist. So I went to her and I said, what are the humectants? What ingredients really deliver hydration into the skin? So she gave me a bunch of ingredients. I went to my pharmacist. We mixed it in his lab, and we mixed the cream. It's still my favorite cream until today. And I added my blood in it, and I healed my skin overnight, literally.
Wow.
And once your skin is hydrated and balanced, you won't have dryness, you won't have blackheads, you won't have redness, you won't have any problems. So all of a sudden, I didn't have to go to my facialist anymore. I solved all my problems with this one cream. It was mind blowing. And then all my patients, and we had so many patients also coming for the orthopedics part from Hollywood. So these people from Hollywood came for their knees and for their skin. So all of a sudden, this cream and all these treatments traveled into Hollywood. And when I went there, it was just such a hype around this. And this was my very first product. And they were all asking, "Oh, Dr. Sturm, what if I cannot give you my blood, or I want to bring it to my friend? And what other products do you have? Which cleanser do we use?" And I wouldn't want to bring them to like a pharmacy to get products. I wanted to make it for them because I didn't like what was on the market. And that's how I really started going to the lab, creating products that are mostly based on efficacy, science, delivering active ingredients into the skin, and also mostly we're hydrating and anti-inflammatory, because what's on the market, lots of these creams, especially 20 years ago, imagine every cream had fragrance in there. Everything. Fragrance, fragrance, fragrance. You wouldn't know what was in the jars because it said like 10,000 strange names on them. You wouldn't know if you bought a cleanser or the cream. So I said, it needs to be face cream, cleanser. It needs to be hydrating. It needs to be anti-inflammatory. We need to do telomerase activating, which is the most proven theory of aging, the cell division to fix that. And I wanted just the best ingredients. And so when the products were on the market, people were obsessing over it because they worked, you know? And I was so surprised. I was surprised. It's like, okay, I'm this small little brand. Why does it get so much attention? But then I thought, if it works for me, if it works for all my patients, why would it work? Why wouldn't it work for the woman in Australia or the man in California? Or, of course, if a product works, it works.
I love that. You talked about the balance of the skin. Is that to do with acidity?
That's just one point of balance, because our skin is slightly acidic. And if you would, for example, men like to wash their faces with soap, or they're in the shower, just soap for everything. And soap is very alkaline. So if you wash your face with soap, for example, you mess up your pH, then you mess up your microbiome, and therefore you mess up your skin barrier. And when your skin barrier is messed up, the outer layer skin is disturbed. So you get sunburns, pigmentation, but also something else is happening. Water leaves the skin. You have something called transepidermal water loss, which makes your skin even drier, and dry skin really ages fast. So the goal is really to make your skin super strong, and pH matters because you don't want to mess up your microbiome. Therefore, our cleanser, for example, has the right pH. But I doubt anybody else would think about making a product with the right pH, because the industry is quite marketing driven and money driven. So it's more like, how does the packaging look? What's the celebrity who speaks for it? Or what's the marketing slogan? There's not so much care and attention to the detail what the skin really needs.
And being one of the first movers who really took a very medical approach to a commercial product available globally, what was that process like?
The process, just me being very obsessive over science and efficacy. If something doesn't work, and I'm my toughest critic, and I'm a patient too. And if I tell you I tried every product on the market, and I was so surprised, how is it possible that there's so much skincare out and they're expensive, and I spend all this money and it doesn't work? Why is that? And when I started doing products, I was like, okay, I have to be obsessed with every single product. If I'm not obsessed, it doesn't get on the market. So for me, this really matters, and science is the key to efficacy. And so, for example, the hyaluronic serum, we just did the testings, the real clinical testings. And now it's really proven that it slows down skin aging, which I knew. I knew when I did that, but we haven't really actively tested it. So I make products that are efficient for the skin, that give the most hydration, because, we're all made out of water, and our skin as well. So if we compare raisins with grapes, so raisins are the dehydrated cells, the grapes are the hydrated cells. obviously we want the grapes. They look better. They also have these osmosis channels to take on active ingredients. We want those cells to go through their whole cell divisions because that's important for anti-aging. So we want these cells to perform, to be nourished, to have like everything they need to be the best functioning cells they could be. And that's the goal with everything we do for longevity, not just for the skin. That's why you drink 2 liters of waters every day. That's why you have your sleep. That's why you have tried to distress. That's why you live an anti-inflammatory life in order to, grow older but healthy and young.
What is an anti-inflammatory life?
So anti-inflammatory lifestyle is basically having your good night's sleep, trying to reduce stress, because stress brings something out in our system, which is called cortisol, which higher inflammation. Our nutrition and diet, mostly plant-based, no processed food, no sugars, no, all this, it's like mostly like a very healthy diet, and then skincare products or whatever we wear on our skin, whatever we use as a detergent, whatever it is that touches our body from the inside and out. And there's so many endocrine disruptors that touch our skin. Look at shampoos these days. There's silicone, there's microplastic, there's fragrances, there's tensides. What touches our scalp is mind-blowing. And then it's a hairspray, and then it's a conditioner, an extra thing for this, and then there is like wax, and then there's dry shampoo. I mean, like, it's crazy. And our scalp is quite permeable, so whatever goes on our scalp gets delivered in our system. For this matter, everything that touches our skin has dendritic cells underneath that communicate with our immune system. So if we think the skin is separate from every other organ, that's absolutely not true. And skin sometimes gets mistreated. We mistreat our skin because we say, oh, skin doesn't matter. It's our largest organ and we cannot live without skin. Same like our liver, our kidney, our heart. Some people use retinol, glycolic, or acid peels because they just want to scrub their faces off for whatever reason, but they cause the inflammation. They cause our disruption of the skin barrier. And they would never do this to the kidney or liver or the heart. We would never throw an acid peel on our heart. We would say, oh my God, the heart,
I'm not super knowledgeable in this territory. I'm trying to become more knowledgeable. So forgive me for asking simple questions. Why is inflammation bad?
So inflammation is not all that bad. Inflammation is an immune response and it is necessary to fight bacteria and viruses.
And is it cells inflaming or parts of our body that inflame?
So if a virus or bacteria enters our body, our immune system, our white blood cells come and they start producing factors, enzymes, ingredients to help to heal, to deswell, to bring back healthy tissue. So this inflammation process is necessary to fight these bacteria and viruses. Inflammation becomes a problem when it's chronic and when it's in high levels.
Mm-hmm.
So high level inflammation, chronic inflammation, or also self-inflicted inflammation, like throwing acid peels on our skin, that makes our immune system react, obviously. We don't want this high inflammation because that is something which causes chronic diseases, autoimmune diseases, degradation of tissue, aging, cancer, whatever it is. Every skin condition we don't like goes together with inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good that we have this inflammation once it's necessary,
Fine.
But don't do self-inflicted inflammation through bad diet, skincare products, detergents, no sleep,
Okay, fine. That makes sense. I'd love to dive into your experience as an entrepreneur and maintaining your love for being a doctor and your passion for being a doctor, but also going down the route of creating a product that's available off the counter and becoming the face of the business as well. Your name is on the bottle. People know you. People relate to you and want to learn from you. And that's a big part of why people buy the products as well. Was that a part of your vision the whole time, or is that something that happened by accident?
To tell you the truth, I didn't have a vision for becoming something in the beauty industry. That wasn't why I studied medicine. I studied medicine because I wanted to be at service to my patients. And that's why I created the products the way I created them, because I wanted my patients to have success with their treatment. And this was something I learned along the way, being a scientist and work with scientists, and that really inspired me. So the vision wasn't like, oh, I will be super successful in the beauty industry, I will have products, I will be doing this or that. So the vision wasn't ever that. I go pretty much step by step. So today is today, tomorrow is tomorrow. And I love being a doctor. And at a time, I was really working more in skincare than with patients. And I was missing my patients. And when COVID hit, I was like, okay, I want to connect with my patients. And I had the time. I was sitting in LA in my house. I was sitting there and I was, okay, doing master classes, lives. I was doing like 5 online events a day. It was crazy. The whole house was full with huge post-its. I did a masterclass about pigmentation, about rosacea, about teen skin, whatever it was. We had like the best time in our house and doing all these events. So I was talking a lot to patients, and they gave me things I hadn't thought of and what needed to be done, and I created products. And it was so cool to connect with real people and, giving advice and helping them through COVID with their self-care. And that I really loved. And this is where the education and the building of a community started with the Sturm brand. And this, until today, I just come back from the Anti-inflammatory house in New York. We did like a huge townhouse just for education for people who wanted to come and learn. We did I think I did 12 panel talks with experts, just with experts, just people you can learn from. And it was really nice. People loved it, and they love coming to this brand.
It's beautiful. So you fell into this kind of by accident in a way?
I just fell into it. But that's how I love life, When I met a guy, I was thinking, do I know where I would be in 10 years? If I knew if I knew where I would be in 10 years, this guy wasn't interesting to me. I don't want to know where I am in 10 years. I want to flow with life. I want to see what's happening, and I want to stay flexible and surprising. And, every day I have an idea and it's fun. And some ideas I do, others I maybe don't, but that's the cool thing about life. And I want to keep it this way. So I didn't plan this, and I did step by step. I got money from the bank. I started creating products. I produced them. I didn't really have marketing. I didn't have money to pay Vogue articles or Vogue ads. There was no Instagram at the time. So this was word of mouth, just because the products were good. And then I had so much work in my clinic where I was seeing patients with shipping out products that I said to my team, I need to be on Net-a-Porter. Net-a-Porter needs to sell my products. And everybody said, you cannot sell beauty online. That doesn't work. I said, I don't care. My patients know the products. So I went to New York. I knocked, can I please have a meeting? And I was not very well known in this beauty industry, but they gave me a meeting. I talked to them. They decided to take the brand. It was really amazing.
Wow.
And I went on Net-a-Porter, and from Net-a-Porter, Harrods called. Space and K, everybody called me. And this is how the product got everywhere. I didn't plan it. I also wasn't so arrogant to say, oh, my product, they will be everywhere. I wasn't planning on this. I did it for my patients. And then, it exploded. And then we had so many products, and people were asking me nonstop, how do we use products? What's the sequence? What do we need to use for it? And how do we use the enzyme cleanser? And then I thought, okay, I have to showcase it. And I already had facials created in my clinic, so people could come and had facials in the clinic. And then I decided to do pop-ups before the Oscar, before Fashion Week, before all these events. And the first pop-up was in LA in Johnny Depp's house. And I got his bar, and in the bar was a massage table. My facialist from Germany came, and every celebrity came in to have a facial. And they came out of this facial room, the bar, and they had the most glowy face. And Rosie started Instagramming it, and it was
Rosie Huntington-White.
Yeah, she came, and it was so cool. She Instagrammed it, and everybody had the most glowy skin. And I said, oh my God, this is the Sturm glow. This is how glow really got created. People coming out of the facial, and this became a thing. These pop-ups, we did, I think, 22 pop-ups in 1 year. We were
Wow.
like a circus going from to the next.
One city to the next.
Yeah, it was so fun. And we exploded on Instagram. And everybody was obsessed with the products. Every model wanted to have a facial. It was so cool. Nobody else was doing it. And this is how the brand got more out and out. And I created the glow drops. And the glow drops became such a thing. And then all brands all of a sudden had glow drops and glow here. And now I'm so annoyed with glow, but the glow is just like, it's like still a thing. And it's the Sturm glow, which basically is a sign of healthy, beautiful, dewy, hydrated skin.
Love it. You are downplaying some of these monumental moments out of modesty. And I'd love to talk about one or two of them, particularly that door knock on Net-a-Porter's door. I know you say that you did that because you wanted to make your customers' lives better, and I believe it 100%. But you did something that seemed so natural to you by partnering with a business that you love as a consumer and a business that you know your customers align with. But stepping out of skincare and into fashion and aligning a skincare product with fashion, I think is a much bigger deal. And I think you did something that impacted the entire industry. And either you're too humble to admit it, or it was actually just a positive byproduct of something you did with pure intention. But today, I find that skincare is very much aligned with fashion.
Lifestyle, yeah.
And the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, people who dress well pretty much all take care of their skin. I don't know anyone who doesn't care about their skin but cares about their outfit. I think it's such a conscious part of maintenance and love for self today. To love oneself is to love one's body and to take care of their biggest organ, to take care of their skin. And it's a big part of communication in fashion as well. I think all people of influence who create lifestyle content also talk about their skincare routines. It's a big part of people's days. It's actually like a ceremony that people start their day with and end their day with. And it's a part of people getting ready. And the fact that you were the first brand to break the barrier of fashion and be on Net-a-Porter, I think is a huge deal. And I think you deserve to be acknowledged for that, actually. So
yeah,
it's very
I
cool.
tried to make my life easier with going on Net-a-Porter. And, you know, not many people knew at the time. I mean, it was just the cool people that knew Net-a-Porter and, you know, Natalie Massanet. And like, I tried to get to her and give her the blood cream so she would take me on Net-a-Porter. Yeah, it was a big deal to get on Net-a-Porter. For me, it was like mind-blowing to be on there. And then you're right, it's a part of the fashion. But what really was cool, I started having PR agencies, obviously. And then when we went bigger in the US, I needed a PR agency in the US. And I had a PR agency which was quite dedicated. They had a beauty division. And I went there and we did cool stuff together. And all of a sudden they took more of the German doctors, more and more. And I said, you know what? And editors were like asking for my products, and I sent on every doctor's product. And I'm like, you know what? I'm out of here. So I went to actually a super cool agency, a super friend of my family now, Malcolm Carfrey. He has an agency, and up till today, he only has one skincare brand, which is amazing. We've been together for many, many, many years. But what happened was that I said, Malcolm, I want to work with you. Malcolm said, but I don't really know the beauty editors. And I said, it doesn't matter. We will figure this out. We do it. So I worked with him, and then he started introducing me to every stylist, every editor there is, everybody from fashion, because he was big in fashion. He was working for Calvin Klein. He was the guy. So I met everybody. We went to Fashion Week, and I was all of a sudden the girl who was the doctor who would just see every designer. Every designer would come to our pop-up. Now I'm friends with all the designers, which is so cool. And, you know, I love fashion so much. And for me, it was amazing to meet everybody. And that was Malcolm. And now, as you said, it's the thing, you know, beauty and fashion belongs together. It's not separated anymore. But at the time when I started, it was very much separated. And we brought it all together. And then we were the first ones popping up at Fashion Week too. And now, you know, like every skincare brand is trying this, obviously, because it's a cool concept.
I love it.
This podcast is brought to you by Poubelle, by the Gstaad Guy, allowing you to express all the things you love and all the things you may question on interchangeable charm jewellery that can be combined to create bracelets, necklaces, handbag, accessoires, and much more. From iced matcha and reformer Pilates to sauna buckets and a pair of skis. All the things you love and even the things you question can be expressed through Poubelle.
While doing all of this, you also became a young mom, right? To Charlie.
That was, yeah. So listen, Charlie, I was still in university. I was
So
basically
way before.
studying medicine. I was studying medicine and I was pregnant and I was like, oh, okay. And I wanted to be a doctor. So, but then I had Charlie in my semester in the holidays. So, and as soon holidays were over, I went back to school. Charlie and the maxi cozy, my mom taking care of her. I was still breastfeeding. So every 4 hours I would come back home and feed her. And yeah, but it was cool because it gave me a sense of responsibility. I wasn't the one partying all night. I still was partying, but not like, with a little more, I was responsible. And also it taught me a lot about managing life. So people was like, how do you study medicine and you have a child and you do this and you do that? And then I still was modeling at the fashion fair and I was still doing, working in the store, selling stuff. Or I made so much money, by the way, when I was like a student. I was working so much for cool stuff. So I was financing myself while having Charlie, while studying medicine. And my ex-husband would say, oh my God, medicine must be so easy the way you do it.
It wasn't.
No, it
You just
wasn't
made it look
easy. It
easy.
wasn't easy.
Yeah.
But I was always very good in figuring out how to do the maximum with the minimal effort. I'm very good in this. I know how to figure this out.
I think your minimal effort is still most people's maximum. You just have a great way of also adding love and fun to it. So you make it look effortless as well. Because I know the inputs are also still there. I know you try to say that the inputs are the minimal
No,
effort, but you also put in a lot of work. I've seen how you work.
Yeah, no, I love working. I think I have a really good work ethic, but I really also love it. I'm passionate. I'm self-disciplined. I know what I want and I work hard for it. And I saw my mom working hard. I saw my grandmother working hard. My dad, if you see it at home, you also develop the sense of what's necessary to achieve something you dream of.
I have friends that are young parents and that have found balance, or at least their definition of balance. And not a single one of them ever regrets having kids or ever regrets having kids too early. They all just love the process and it's such a beautiful part of life. But I have far more friends who are waiting for the right time. And myself included, to be honest. What that right time is, I have no idea. What that even means, I also have no idea. I think we're all just lying to ourselves. What was it like to really juggle life and all these things at such a young age and be a founder while being a doctor, while being a mother, and putting your heart into all of those things? And would you ever have done anything differently?
Yeah, it's the greatest to have Charlie. I mean, Charlie's my best friend. Charlie's my advisor. She's working in the company with me. Without Charlie, we wouldn't be where we are because she's bringing all this new generational input and it needs to have this young, beautiful power source like Charlie. She's amazing. And I'm so happy I have her. And I was happy when I was a young mother. I loved her so much back then. And she was always like, the one, and same like Pepper, I want to do everything for them, give them great education, give them everything they need to be able to fulfill their dreams, because I don't need them to be amazing in math or amazing in this. I don't push them for anything but what they want. I support them with everything I have. And that had worked out. And at the time, obviously it's hard. And obviously sometimes, you wanted to go out and then you didn't have a babysitter, or it's you make sacrifices, but it's the most beautiful sacrifice in life, and I would never have done it differently. And everybody who wants to be a young mother should be a young mother, and they still can do everything. It's just great to have the parents around. So my parents were always there, always supporting me, loving Charlie. It's quite necessary of a supporting family. We women are so capable of doing everything and everything at the same time. We're so good at multitasking, so good at managing, so good getting stuff done. Yeah. So I think the ability is there for everybody, but it's not like, oh, I want to be a CEO, I want to be a founder, I want to be successful, I want to making money. That's not how it works. It works with a passion, with an obsession, with a purpose, with a strong belief, with the readiness to, maybe go on the minus with the money or taking risk on every level, being there 24/7, dedicated also with things you might not love to do, but you have to do for this. And even though it's easy to launch something on Instagram, it's easy. But launching something which is lasting, something people will remember also in 3 years, not like short-term life, that is easy to do, but something which really stays consistently in people's lives, that's a hard one to accomplish. And we really have to think what it is you want to bring to the world, and not just doing something for doing something and showing that you have a business.
In a 2-year period, you moved from the US to Gstaad, very different life. You got divorced, so single life, also very different. And you also sold Barbara Sturm to Pooch, your brand. So lots has changed in the past couple of years. I'd love to know what this new page of your life looks like.
So I only sold the majority. I still own quite a bit, and I'm personally involved, and I love it. It's my baby, and I have a lot of responsibility. And by the way, the products are made by me. No changes in any product. This is my responsibility. So just to make clear that these products will never be anything but 100% perfect. So
love it.
Yeah, that was important to me. Yeah, I'm getting divorced, which is, the life is like comes in waves, ups and downs, changes. I like these changes. And, sometimes you have a good run with someone and then you don't, and then it becomes something you don't want anymore. And moving to Gstaad was out of, me having personally the urge to be at a place where I could be what could be good for my health and for my mental health. So when I went to Gstaad, I felt like I needed to ski every day, just to get my mind clear and to breathe fresh oxygen and just enjoying the things which I love the most. And I took Pepper, and it was great for her, and we had just the best time. And then I asked my friends in Gstaad, what happens if I move here? Will I be bored? And they said, trust me, you won't be bored. So then I took Pepper completely to school there. And the first day we were there, we went mushroom picking. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And, going hiking and finding mushrooms. And I fell completely in love with this lifestyle. And of course, I still travel. I still have social life. And, social life in Gstaad it's a real social life. But then you also travel, you still go to the places you love, and you see all your friends, and you go out for nice dinners, and you do your events and your fashion weeks and whatever. So it's not that you're totally secluded from social life. And the people in Gstaad are amazing. I have such a great community, and it is something I appreciate about Gstaad so much. We tell each other every day, and Naxon included, we're just dreaming about the life we're having. We're so grateful. We're so grateful that our kids have this life. We're so grateful that we're in nature. We're grateful every day. We're grateful for our community. We live as a big family in this small little village. And that is something you cannot find anywhere else in this world. And this is not an advertisement for Gstaad. Don't move to Gstaad. It's not that great.
You want to keep the secret to yourselves.
Yeah.
It's so good. No, what you have going there is beautiful. And I see it seems to be very, very balanced and great. You seem to be, every time I see you, in a greater and greater headspace. So it's a beautiful thing.
I'm so happy. And this feeling of gratefulness I never had in my life like I have it now. And this is so important for your mental health, for anything in life. And I appreciate this feeling so much.
I love it.
You promote and love the life of luxury. No, we all like quality. We like the best olive oil, the best wine, the best cashmere, the best of everything, but also we enjoy simplicity. Simplicity with our friends, simplicity with just sitting and watching the sunset or something. You're very big with your values. That's why I love you so much, because you have that in you. But what do you think about luxury? Because we both are in a luxury world and we promote luxury things, and the best things are luxury. How do you see luxury in these days? Also, how is wellness and everything, health, evolving together with luxury? How do you see that?
I think I have different definitions of luxury in different contexts and for different categories. But for this category here of health and wellness, I think a luxury is anything supplementary to the necessity, which elevates something someone is passionate about beyond the basic requirements. So if I'm passionate about sport, going for a run and being active through a walk, of course, is philosophically a luxury, because having the time to even engage in something like sport is a beautiful luxury and blessing. But I think where luxury comes into the world of sport is equipment, nutrition, and being able to go beyond the basics of what your body can offer by supplementing and going beyond that. So I think now we live in a time where there are luxuries and luxury products and services within every category.
It's also a little bit the knowledge about this is luxury. If you have an extended knowledge about longevity and how to do sports and how to, supplement yourself to be better, more healthier, stronger, giving the body really what it needs to be performing your sport you like. I think that's a luxury too. To me, education, or the access to education, also the ability to understand education, is also quite a big luxury if we talk about that in this case.
Absolutely. Yeah. The word luxury is probably one of the most subjective words in the world,
That's
right?
true.
Because what is a luxury to me is a necessity to someone else, and what is a dream to someone else is an accessible luxury to me. And I guess that goes back to the topic of gratitude. It's like we're so blessed and grateful to be in a position where we consider other people's luxuries and dreams just a part of our daily life, like bottled water right here,
Or
just
healthy
drink it.
food,
Healthy
or
food.
any food.
Any food at all.
Yeah.
So it's quite subjective. I guess in our world, just to be a bit more precise, there's so many tiers to this, and so many different ways that people can engage with products and services they're passionate about and that could be luxurious. The greatest thing about the time period we live in, to me, is the access to information, is the access to research and being able to learn from people like you, so you can know when you're investing in something of value, to know you're actually getting something of value.
And you do you make good choices for yourself based on information and not
Exactly.
maybe not. So I think that's important. I don't want to tell people what to do. I don't want to push my products on them, but I give them the information so they can make informed choices that are better for their health.
Exactly. I think knowledge is
Power.
the superpower of our
Superpower.
generation. It's
100%. And that's where it's dangerous to just get your knowledge from Instagram or TikTok or something. I think you also should read science research or whatever interests you. Also go to real publication, listening to real experts, PhDs, whatever, like where real information comes from. But I have another question.
Sure.
You started Poubelle, which is so cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had my bracelets with me.
Thank you.
Love them so much. They're so cute.
Thanks, BB.
But this is a real thing. I saw you opening stores and you have to travel and promote it. It's quite some work, right?
It's fun. Yeah,
How do you
it's
feel
got some
like
work.
this entrepreneurial journey, and what do you learn? And this is like a real business.
It is. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. We did a pop-up in Dubai,
I
which was
saw
amazing.
also who makes your pop-up stores. They look so cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
We got very, very lucky with having amazing partners.
Yeah.
This business called Unas.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like
yeah, they're great.
they're
We sell
amazing.
there too.
They're
yeah,
amazing. It's like the Net-a-Porter of the Middle East.
yeah.
They really just made dreams into reality in terms of the execution of the pop-up. Whenever I have these sorts of project meetings with any external partners, we usually have like 3 scenarios. It's like backup, realistic, and dream. And people usually land somewhere in between backup and realistic because once they start doing the numbers, they're like, oh, budgets and this and that, and you land somewhere and you still get something. But that's usually how these conversations go for most creator founders with external partners. With Unas, I said the dream, and they were so passionate about Poubelle and so supportive that they made the dream happen.
So cool.
They built this incredible
that looked
pop-up.
amazing.
I said, I want a jewelry box with the charms around it and this whole thing.
I was like,
and it was amazing.
What's going on? It's like, how did he pull that off?
Honestly, it sounds so corny, but like the people you work with are everything. Like that team.
Oh, tell me about it.
So exceptional. Like the people make it happen.
It's so cool. My team is amazing. When I came to New York to that anti-inflammatory house, I thought I couldn't believe when I walked in what they pulled off there. It was amazing. It was just mind-blowing. And your team is everything. Your team, the people you work with, what they see in your brand, how their vision correlates with your vision. It's fun. That's the fun thing about building a brand. Yeah.
I think one thing I look for in anyone I work with, which I was so blessed with the team at Unas, they do in something you do, is if there's love for the work you're doing, the work hours are never offensive. And what I mean by that is, if I have an idea at midnight that's social and I tell my friend about the social idea at midnight, it's never disrespectful, right? Because everyone loves social stuff for the most part. But to many, if I engage with someone on a work topic after their work hours, they're like, you should wait till Monday morning and blah, blah, blah. It's like, then you never move anywhere.
I would never talk to this person.
Exactly.
Sorry, this sounds really bad for work-life balance.
No, but it's true. I just don't want to work with that person. Like I think if you're a passionate founder or even a passionate person working on anything, you're excited about something aligned with work. And I'm not saying people should just sacrifice everything and only focus on work, but I think that working with people who are happy to engage on the project you're working on 24/7 will make the project so much better.
Oh, 100%. I talk to my team every weekend, and if I call them at 12, I call them at midnight. If they're still up, they answer the phone, and we have like, we're so excited, we're doing this, and then the next day I already have like 10 ideas on my phone blowing up. It's so fun, and I love my team for this. My core team is so dang, and everybody loves what they do, and they don't think it's my brand, they think it's their brand. They think this is our baby, so they really have ownership.
You've empowered them.
I don't know, but we grew together as this family.
I love it.
So nice.
Great. We always play this short game on the Gstaad Guy podcast, which is a game of à la Poubelle versus Fantastique. And I would love for you to share with us and the audience 2 or 3 things that you find to be à la Poubelle, which are things that you'd like to change or see people do differently in society, in the world you find yourself in, or anything in between. And 2 or 3 things that you celebrate, that you're grateful for, that you find to be Fantastique.
Mean people, disrespectful people, à la Poubelle.
À la Poubelle, 100%.
À la Poubelle, 100%.
I agree.
It's more about people, but I also don't like people who show off. That to me is also à la Poubelle. But that's more about people.
That's fine, whatever.
What else? Dirty streets, dirty parks, à la Poubelle.
You're in Gstaad, you've been
way more cleaner. You know, our nature is so valuable. And I don't want to pat myself on the shoulder, but there's like this thing we're doing in Gstaad. We go on the mountain and clean up the mountain after the skiing season. And
the
you
snow
see,
melts.
because when you go under the lift, you see the cigarettes. I picked up every freaking cigarette. I'm so good in mushroom picking and Easter egg hunts. So I'm really good in finding the...
Wow.
I was wearing gloves, but we got all the trash from the mountain. And that's so nice. It's so nice to do these things, yeah? Or when we're on the beach and we find some peppers, likes to clean up the beaches.
So nice.
That's something we all should be doing. We all should keep an eye out. If you see some trash on somewhere, just pick it up.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastique.
Is there any à la Poubelles or Fantastiques that are specific to the world of skincare today?
Retinol à la Poubelle.
Why? I don't know anything
Did you
about
not
it.
listen just now? So, retinol
Is it
is an
peels?
exfoliant. Exfoliant is a resurfacing ingredient which causes inflammation. You know, we're an anti-inflammatory brand. We're trying to live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle, but retinol is causing a disruption of your skin barrier. Lets the water leave the skin, so transepidermal water loss. We have dry skin, we have flaky, red, inflamed skin, and we disrupt our skin barrier. We basically actively hurt our skin with inflammation. When we hurt our skin, we also hurt our body. We hurt our system, our immune system. We shouldn't hurt any organ. This is a society which actually is interested in longevity. And you know, every longevity treatment is designed to lower inflammation. Everything, red light therapy, breathing oxygen. It's all about lowering inflammation, making our body more resilient, more fantastique. Yeah, our body needs to be fantastique.
It's true.
And this is where the society is educated for, and they want to learn more. And we follow the biohackers, and we follow, like, you know, we read the books. We're so interested in it. And then with the skin, we're like, oh, it's just the skin. We need to have the same respect for our skin. So no retinol, no glycolic, no resurfacing products, no acid peels, no laser. And I'm talking about healthy skin. I'm not talking about the skin which is
Even laser hair removal is bad?
different story, different. And you don't do this every two seconds, you know.
No.
That you do this once and then your hair is gone.
Yeah.
So all this stuff, also fragrances, you know, fragrances is so disrupting. You know, put it on your t-shirt. If you like a fragrance, put it on your t-shirt. Does it need to be in our hair care? No. Does it need to be in our skincare? No. If I like a fragrance, put it on my jacket.
So those are the Poubelles. What about the Fantastiques?
The Fantastiques. You're fantastic.
Oh,
I love
Barb,
you.
you're fantastic.
Yeah, you're a
I love
great
you
human
too.
being.
As are you.
I love you because you have so much heart. You're so kind to everyone. You're just someone I admire, who inspires me, who want to have around, who I'm honored to be friends with.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
really
Thank
like, no, I'm not just saying this. I like people who are, and that's a testament to your parents. I think, you know, if you have a certain, you know, if you get a certain education from your parents, you are this person. Yeah. And
I appreciate that. I feel the
So-
same way about you.
I love you too. Yeah, Fantastique. Fantastique is all the knowledge out there. Fantastique is that we have access to so many great things, that we know about what food to eat, that we know about, you know, we have scientists who teach us things that, you know, make our life more, you know, better and more better, that make our life better, and you know, we can enjoy longer. I mean, I'm 53 and I feel like I'm 20. You know, I still sprint, I still ski every day, I still do all these things. And I think with the knowledge of medicine and science, we can achieve way more in way higher ages. And that's so cool. I think, you know, our parents or maybe our grandparents, when they were 53, they were old. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're like,
true.
oh, and these days, I think we have so much more opportunities to live a much better life way longer.
It's true.
And that's fantastic.
It is fantastic. There's a growing trend now where lots of my friends who've achieved great success are moving away from big cities and living life very differently to what successful people I observed lived life 10, 15 years ago. The people who I observed were achieving success 10 or 15 years ago were indulging more, partying a bit more, and getting deeper in society, joining more members clubs, spending more, drinking more, doing all these things. Whereas now, probably a testament on my friends who are more value aligned with me. So I guess that's one part of it. But another part of it, I think, is generally there is this growing trend of people who are actually moving a bit more off grid and getting out of the city, getting out of these social groups that maybe don't align with who they want to be, and moving into the mountains and living this more active, balanced, and life that's at one with nature. Is this something you always wanted to do, to move away from the city and be in nature?
Again, I don't plan much ahead. I'm really going step by step. And I loved living in the city. I loved living in LA. I loved living in Düsseldorf, wherever. I love traveling. And it's always a time and a place. And I love to be in social events. It was all cool. And now it's more about my health and, living the mountain life. And I love it. And I see many young people coming to the mountains and they love it too. As I said, we're obsessed with living there.
Yeah.
And I actually love it that this is like a mindset switch in the young generation. They also want to give their children a better life than just being in the city and driven by chauffeurs. And it's just a different mindset. And I think kids also get different values by being in the nature and not being pushed with excellence all the time, with like achievements and comparison with other kids and other mothers. I think it's also tough to live a life like this. I think if the kids are a little more relaxed, the school is more relaxed, the kids don't feel the pressure every second, and they every Wednesday they go out in nature. In winter season, they ski almost every day, and it's a different life for them. And I think it's also healthier not to sit like 8 hours or even more behind the desk for these kids. They need their muscles to stretch, to grow. They need to be active. They shouldn't atrophy muscles. They get back problems, neck problems early on. I think they need to have this sporty nature life in mind. That's why I actually think it's cool to, and for example, London has a great countryside. I know lots of people who live in the countryside. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It is. Well, I'm excited to see you in Gstaad again very soon.
Please come. Please come.
I'll be there very soon.
Let's show the Gstaad Guy followers
the
let's real Gstaad.
A day in the life of Bibi Sturm in
the real Gstaad.
The
Gstaad woman.
With the Gstaad girl.
I'm actually the Gstaad doctor.
You're Dr. Gstaad.
I'm Dr. Gstaad.
You are. Perfect. Well, Barbara, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I love you.
Being here. I love you too. This has been so much fun. I'm sure the audience wants to hear more. I think you should start a podcast of your own.
It's coming, and you would be my first guest.
I'm in.
And you have to fly in from wherever you
Wherever I am. What you did today is really so appreciated. I really appreciate you.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Gstaad Guy podcast. If you're keen to learn more, please follow along by engaging with our social channels on Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Merci beaucoup, à la prochaine, and a big hug from the Gstaad Guy.